Okay, good evening, everyone. My voice is audible and clear to all of you.
Good evening, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. I'll suggest you use the chat box to reply. It will be better for everybody. So whenever I'm asking you any queries, please use the chat box to reply.
Okay, sir.
At the end of the session, if you want to reply, use the mic. But it will be good if everybody keep your mics in mute position during the session. Is it okay? Okay. So we'll start the session. So myself is Anil Singh. I'll be taking your MCC with the Linux session. So we'll start the session with what? You might be knowing the abbreviation for MCSE. So MCSE stands for, you can use the chat box to reply. Yes, MCSE stands for? Yes. You can use your chat box to reply. And you can, what is the MCSE stands for?
Hello, sir. I'm just telling you right now, it's a bit hard right now just to reply in the chat box. It takes a long time. So that's why it's better you just unmute it, like instead of using the chat box.
See, you have to write in the chart. No, see, if you start unmuting mics, no, what happens? Your surrounding voice will be disturbing the whole class. I hope you are understanding. See, like people are writing, no, you can write in a simple shortest way. I hope you are understanding. You will also feel that it is better option during the session. After the session, you can unmute. Okay, so can I proceed? Yes, I got various options and various answers I have got. So most of the people are okay with what? Microsoft. You can see the result here in my chat box. Microsoft certified system engineer. Most of them they are saying system engineer. Yes, that's why I asked this question. So is it correct? Everybody think that it is a yes? So I have got one answer, which is absolutely right. I hope you can able to see Sandeep name. So everybody, so please remember that if your answer is not right, you don't feel anything because nobody is perfect. Here we are just to share the knowledge, yes? So the important thing is you have to be interactive. Okay, so don't bother about your answer will be right or wrong. So the MCSE stands for Microsoft Certified Solution Expert. So all of you please remember that MCSE stands for Microsoft Certified Solution Expert. So why we are discussing this course? Why we should discuss this? Because once you are done with this course, you will be eligible to work like a system administrator. Because this course, MCSE's design are based on domain model. So every organization in everywhere in the world works only on domain model. So what is domain model? Yes. So I'm checking your answers also. Please write it. It will appear be on the chat box as well as on my screen. Yes. So why you want to do this course? So MCSE based on what? Domain model. Okay. So I got one answer from Sabir Ahmed saying local network. Okay, fine. Everybody feels so. So we are discussing MCSE with Linux. So why we are discussing Linux also in the last week? Because the people are the industry now looking for the persons who are having multiple skills. So our main focus will be on MCSE. But in the last week, we'll see the fundamental basics of Linux also. Okay. So first I'll go through the days wise topic, which we are going to cover or discuss in this MCSE. Okay, fine. So before that, that answer I didn't get. So we are discussing MCSE. Why? Because this is your fundamental foundation course. Because this course is designed or based on domain model. So why we should know this? Because every organization in everywhere in the world works on only which model? So this MCSE course, which we are discussing, it is designed or based on domain model. So in every organization, everywhere in the world, we are going to work on domain model. So if you have the idea about the domain model, so if you go to any organization as a fresher or experience, every organization will train you. Even if you go as an experience after any number of years, nobody will put you on directly on the floor. So every organization, first they will train you. So if you are going as a fresher, this course is more than enough. And if anybody have a gap of up to maximum 3 years, you can easily cover, because the depth and the topic will be such that you can easily cover the gap up to 3 years, 2 to 3 years maximum. And this course will help you to work like a system administrator. So it is level 1. Level 1, our designation will be system administrator. So domain model means not a local network. So in simple word, you can say domain model is nothing but, you can say in simple word, centralized network or centralized model. What do you mean by centralized network or centralized model? Domain model is nothing but centralized network or centralized model. What do you mean by centralized? So first of all, the administrator job is what? Administrator. So we are saying that once we do this course, we can work like a system administrator. Yes. So what is the main role of a system administrator? What is the day-to-day routine work of an administrator? Main role or main work of a system administrator is managing the network. So what the administrator has to do? Manage the network. So as an administrator, you have to manage the network. So centralized network means what now? Yes, centralized network means what? So if you have to manage the network, where in the network you have to manage one system or one employees or multiple systems, multiple employees, multiple system, multiple employees. So to manage the employees which are sitting on the multiple systems, you have two options. As administrator, going to each machine and managing it, or by sitting on one particular machine, managing them. So which option you think is better if you are an administrator? There are two options, going to each machine and managing it, or by sitting on your machine, managing all the systems and users. So which method you will prefer? Sitting on the, yes, which model you will prefer? Which option you will prefer? Yes? I didn't get any reply. I hope you are able to understand what I am trying to say. Yes. Our friend Taha is written. Others also following, or shall I need to repeat?
Yeah, can you please repeat again?
So I was telling you that you are an administrator. Your main role is what? Managing the network. Where in the network do you have single system or single employee, or you will have multiple systems? On that, multiple employees will be sitting. Multiple systems will be there. Yes, multiple employees will be there. So you have to manage them. So to manage them, there are two options. One option is going to each machine and managing it. Second option, managing on a particular machine and managing all of them. So which option you will prefer to work as an administrator? Yes.
Manage
I
from
hope
one
not.
place.
See, I already told you it is better you can use the chat box like others are using, no? Yes, managing them by sitting on machine. So that is nothing but called as, that is nothing but it is called as what? Centralized network. So which we are technically calling as domain model. So domain model means what? Centralized network. Centralized network means by sitting on a particular machine. By sitting on any machine, we can do this managing? No. So you have to sit on a particular machine. So that machine on which you are sitting and managing all the system, that machine you have to make as a domain controller. Domain controller means server. So from sitting on any machine, you cannot manage. So in centralized network, you have to make one of the machine as a domain controller, which is called in simple language, server. So you have to make first of all one server, which is called domain controller. So by sitting on that particular domain controller, we can manage and control all the users and computer without going there. So that is called as centralized model or domain model. So in every organization, which model they will use? Domain model. So if you have the idea about domain model, if they train you, you can easily understand. So that is why your Mcse course is a foundation, fundamental course, whether you do any higher courses, whether you want to go for the any courses, like if you want to work on the cloud, now everybody wants to work on the cloud. So without having the knowledge about the Mcse, you cannot work on the cloud. That is using the AWS or Azure or the Azure DevOps or AWS DevOps or SAP admin, VMware admin. You should first have the idea about what is a domain model. So why this course is important means in this course, we are going to start from the scratch. Scratch means from the beginning, starting with what is a network. Then we are going to create the domain model. So we'll discuss how to create a domain controller, then how to join all the system into the network so that by sitting on that, we can control and manage. So I hope you are following. So every organization uses which model? Domain model. So this course, Mcse stands for Microsoft Certified Solution Expert. So once you are done with this course, you will be eligible to work like a system administrator. So the system administrator job is what? Managing the network. So to manage the network, there are two options. One is going to each machine and managing it, or by sitting on your machine managing it. So which option is preferred? Sitting on your machine. So yes, you will have the examination also, global examination. Now for Mcse, the global examination is conducted with the code name MD 102 and MS 102. So these are the codes of the two papers. Okay, we'll come to that. Let me first give you the brief idea about why we should do this course and what is the advantage of doing this course. Then after that, I'll go through the days-wide schedule. What are the topic which we are going to cover in this course? After that, you'll get a clear idea about what are the things which we are going to discuss in this course. Okay. So I was just emphasizing that this course is important because this course is designed or based on which model? Domain model, centralized network. So centralized network means by sitting on a single machine, we can control and manage all the systems and computer. So can we sit on any machine and manage it? No. So to manage from a single or particular machine, all the users and computer, to manage all the users and computer from a particular machine, first thing what you have to do, you have to take one machine and you have to make that machine as a domain controller. Domain controller means server. Then using that server, we can control and manage all the computers and system, which makes the administrator job of managing the network easy and simple. That's why every organization in every part of the world uses only domain model only. Whether I'm clear to everyone? Yes, all of you? Are you understanding? Okay, fine. So now, to make this domain controller or to make your network centralized, will it happen automatically? Will your machine become the domain controller automatically? No, you have to make it. So to make your network centralized or domain model, you have to make one machine as a domain controller. So to make the domain controller, first you have to install one service. So this course MCSE is designed are based on domain model, which is done by using a service. So what is the service we have to use to make the domain model? Yes, what is the service we have to use to make the domain model? Yes, very nice, Taha and Venugopal. Very nice. Yes, others, what is that service? Yes. So the network can be made centralized by using a service. That service is called ADDS. What is that service name? Yes, very nice. ADDS. ADDS stands for? ADDS stands for? ADDS stands for Active Directory Domain Service. What is the full form of ADDS? Yes, Chaitanya, you are absolutely right. ADDS stands for Active Directory Domain Service. So to make your machine as a domain controller or server, first thing you have to do, take a machine, then install the service called ADDS. Then after that, that machine will become the server. You have to configure. How to do that? We'll be discussing all these things. Whatever we'll discuss theoretically, we will do that practically also. Okay. So this course, which is designed are based on centralized network. So this is based on the domain model, which is created by using the ADDS service. So for that, we have to use which operating system? So this course Mcse is designed on which operating system? Yes. Yes. So can I get the answer? Yes, Windows operating system. So most of the people in the world are using which operating system? Windows. There is no doubt about it. So most of the people in the world or most of the computers in the world working on Windows. So in Windows, there are two types of OS. What are they? Yes, in Windows, we have two types of OS. What do you call that? Yes, Venugopal, you are right. Yes. Windows client OS is there, Windows server OS is there. So now this course is designed are based on Windows, but in Windows, two types of OS are there. Windows client OS and Windows server OS. So this course is designed on server OS or client OS. Yes. So can I install the ADDS by using the client OS? Can I install this ADDS by using the client OS? No. So to install this ADDS, so the most important topic of MCSE course is ADDS, Active Directory Domain Service. So the course is designed on domain model. Domain model is created by using which service? ADDS. So ADDS service can be used through which operating system? Windows. So in Windows, which operating system? Two types are there, client and server. So we have to use Windows, not client OS, Athar. We cannot install ADDS by using Windows client OS. So we have to use Windows 10 also you cannot use, Ahmed. You have to use server OS. So we have to use which OS? So in the server OS, what is the latest in the client? What is the latest OS in Windows client? Latest OS in client, Windows. Windows 11. Windows 11 is the latest OS, yes. And what about the server? Server, which OS is the server latest one? Yes, it is not 16 or 19, it is 2000. 22. So we are going to discuss this MCSE course using which server operating system? Windows Server 2022. Are you understanding? Okay. So we are going to discuss this course using which server operating system? 2022 Server OS. Okay. So now let me, yes, you can, yes.
Actually, I wrote in the chat, but I think you didn't see. What if someone is using Mac?
I'll tell you when we proceed with the installation, I'll tell you what you have to do.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, so up to this, is it okay to everyone? Can I proceed with what are the topics which we are going to cover this course? Can I just give the overview so that you will get an idea about what are things which we are going to cover? So I hope you know this course is of course duration, yes? What is this course duration? It is 1 month. So our main focus will be on Mcse. In the last week, we will also discuss about fundamental basics of Linux. So, but our main focus will be what? On Mcse. Yes. So now let me proceed with the what are the topics which we are going to cover in this course Mcse. So now I'm just giving you the brief idea. Okay. All these things we will discuss in detail with theory and practicals. So all the sessions will be there with theory and practical. And please remember, after seeing the first 1 or 2 days, don't get into assumption that MCSE course is very simple and easy. Your first few days topic will be simple and easy. Your main topics will start after 3 days. So as the year progresses, the topics depth will increase and the practical steps also becomes like lengthy. Okay. So now another commonly question doubt for the people is duration of the course is 1 month and days wise schedule will be around 2 hours. Okay. Now coming to the topics, what we are going to discuss. So before that, I think everybody can able to see my screen. Yes. So in this, can you identify which is the most important topic for which the days are also more? Yes, Active Directory. So how many sessions we have for Active Directory? Yes. 5 sessions are there. So you can understand how much important is for this course Active Directory. Yes. So DHCP, DNS these are different servers. I'm saying only about the Active Directory. You have 5 sessions here. Active Directory first, Active Directory second, third, fourth, and fifth. I hope you understood. Okay, is it clear? Yes. Okay, fine. So now I will proceed with the days wise schedule or topics. So first, most of the people, because since so many years we are taking this MCSE course, so we know before you ask the question, most of the people have what is the common doubts in their mind. So some of the commonly asked question is, so suppose I'm not from the engineering background, can I do this course? Most of the people will ask this question. Second question is like, do I need to know any coding or the programming? So the answer for these questions is, this course is designed in a such a way that anybody can do this course from any stream. Because we will cover all the fundamental things. You can be from any background. You can do this course. And for doing this course, you don't need any coding or the programming languages. Okay. Okay, after I went through the days wise topic, still if you have any queries, please you can put it in the chat box, I'll reply you. See, the common topics will not be there, but if you want to go to the security, so you have to provide the security to the system. So the systems will run on the operating system. Without operating system, you cannot have the systems running. So that's why before you go to the cyber security or any advanced courses, you should have the knowledge about on every system. The system will work with the help of what? What you have to install on the system to operate the system. Yes, to use the system. I hope you are getting that. What we have to install to use the computer or to use the system? What we have to install to use the system? OS. Yes, we have to install what? OS. So you should have the knowledge about the operating system. So directly without knowledge about the operating system, if you try to learn the cyber security or any other course like your DevOps or Azure, AWS, you will not able to understand what happens in the background. So once you are good with the MCSE, when you are doing anything on the cyber security or the cloud, you will get clear idea what you are doing, what is happening in the background. Okay, that's why the people will ask you, first you have to be good with any one of the operating system, then you should go to the next level. I hope I answered your question. Okay, can I proceed to our topics which we are going to cover? So once again, I'm reminding you, it is just an overview. We'll discuss that in detail. So I want you people to have idea about what are the things which we are going to discuss in this course. So our today's first day, so we will cover, start with fundamentals. Like as an administrator, we have to manage what? Network. So first of all, we should know what is network. Then what is networking? How to connect the systems in the network. So for that, we will be starting today our session in introduction part with what? What is network? What is networking? How many types of networks are there? How the system should be connected. So this is our today's session, first day. Then tomorrow, we will proceed with what? If you want to use the system should be installed with operating system. So most of the people in the world are using which operating system? Windows. So you want to work like a normal employee or administrator. So administrator will be sitting on client OS or server OS. So that's why we are going to discuss this MCSE course, which is based on domain model using the server operating system. So our focus will be on client OS or server OS. Server OS. Please remember this because our intention is to work like a administrator, not as a employee. So generally, as an administrator, you will be sitting on server OS or client OS. Server OS. So as an administrator, you have to sit on server OS. So that using the server OS, you have to make server domain controller. How to do that? We will discuss that in the Active Directory first class. So before we make the server, we should have the idea about server operating system. So tomorrow we will discuss the server operating system. Our focus will be on server. Then to work in the network, IP should be important. So we are going to discuss also about IP addressing. Then once you know this thing, we will proceed with what? Topology. Topology means what? Designing of the network. So all the system in every organization is connected using which topology? Which topology? Yes, anyone? No, not a ring. No. The best topology which is used. It is not a bus. Star is the best one. So you can see our friend, few of them have written. So which is the best one? Star. So we are going to discuss which topology? Star topology is the best. So all the systems in all the organization is connected through star topology. So we will discuss that. Okay. So first we are going to start with today we thought networking types of network. Tomorrow we'll discuss about not Active directly. Tomorrow we'll discuss about operating system and IP addressing. After that we'll come to the topology. After the topology, we will go to the, after 3 days, we will go to the Active Directory. So for the first day topic, we'll be taking about 2 to 3 days because we'll be covering all our fundamentals so that everybody should feel comfortable. Okay. Then our main topic will start from Active Directory first class. So in the Active Directory first class, we will be focusing on how to install on the server operating system, the server OS. On the server OS. First, I'll show you also installation. So how to install the server OS 2022. On that, how we can install the ADDS. So to make your domain controller, what is the service you have to install? ADDS. So in the Active Directory first class, we will discuss how to install the ADDS. So just installing the ADDS, will it make the server? No. So after installing the ADDS, that machine we need to promote or configure to make it as a domain controller. So in the Active Directory first class, we will discuss how to install the ADDS and make that machine in which we have installed the ADDS. We will discuss that to configure as a domain controller. So once we make the domain controller, then we have to join all the computers in the organization to the domain controller. So how to join all the system into the domain controller, that we will be discussing in the next day topic, that is client and member server. So first we will see how to make the domain controller. Then we will discuss how to join all the systems into the domain. Then after that, what happens? Whatever you do from the server, that effect will be there on all the systems and computers, so that you can control and manage all the users and computer from the domain controller. So in organization, the employees will be there. So who will create the account of the users who are working like employees? Who will create the account of the employees? Can the employees create their account? No, it has to be created by administrator. So the administrator will create the account. On which machine the user is sitting, on that machine he will create. On which machine you are sitting as an employee, will you go to the machine and create? No. So in every company, the administrator will sit on the domain controller and create the account on domain controller. So that user is called domain user. So in the client and member server, we'll see how to join the system into the domain, then create the user from domain controller. And that user can log in from any system. In every organization, this concept only is used. So user will not be created from every machine. So user will be created only from the domain controller, and that user can log in from any system. How it is possible? Through the domain model only. Okay. So every organization uses this model. That's why you should have the clear-cut idea about the Mcse code, so that you can able to grasp when they train you. Every company works only in domain model. So that's why this is very important. So once you know that how to create the user and login from every machine, we have to control and manage the users and computer. For that, we have to apply what? Permissions. So once the users are sitting on the respective machine and working, we have to control. So how do you control and manage them? By applying permissions. So we have to control the users and their computer by applying what? Permissions. So in Windows, we have two types of permission policies. Security level permission, which is used to protect the data. So what data is there in the company, whatever data is there that need to be protected. For that, we apply security level permission. And the employees which are working for the organization, they need to share some data, not complete data. So the employees will be working in department. So particular department employee need some data to be accessed. So complete whatever data is there in the company, everything can be accessed by the employees? No. So for their work, what is his designation? What is his level? Based on that, what is his work? So that what resources he required, that user, that will be provided. So we have to control the users. So whatever important data is there in the company need to be protected. And at the same time, employees working for which department under our company, what type of resources they required that need to be shared. Some data they need to be accessed. So that we will provide them through share level permission. So how many types of permissions we have? How many types of permissions we will be discussing? How many types? I just now told. Two types. Yes. What are they? Security level permission and share level permission. Security level permission is used to provide security to the data. Share level permission to share the required data to the authorized user. Only authorized users who are working for the company should access that. So for that, we will use what? Share level permission. So share level permission means sharing is allowed or sharing is done through share folder. So in Windows, sharing is done through share folder. So we will discuss how to create a share folder to share the data. Okay, that we will discuss in permission class. Our next topic will be, so when the users are writing the data, one user should not delete the other user's data. So in the company, employees, one employee will be working or multiple employees? Multiple employees. So one employee data should not be deleted by other employee. So for that, what you have to do? Yes, you have to apply the profile. So we'll use what? Profile. One user data should not be deleted by other user. So that is done by using the profile. So we have two types of profile, local profile and roaming profile. So which type of profile we will be discussing in profile topic? Local profile and roaming profile. Then all the users data need to be stored where? In the server. So the users will be sitting on their respective machine. So one of the important job of administrator is what? The users are generating the data for the company. So that data need to be protected. It should not be lost. So to prevent the data loss, what we have to do? We have to take the backup. So backup where should be, so where it will be easier to take the backup if all the users data, when they are sitting in different machine writing the data, where it should be saved? On the server. So for that, we will use what? Home folder, so that all the users data comes to the server. So if any user is wasting the server hard disk space while storing the data, we can apply them limited or restricted space, and we can limit them which type of file they were creating to waste the space, that we can prevent by using one service. That service is called FSRM, File Server Resource Manager. So what is that service is called? So using that FSRM, File Server Resource Manager. So that we will be discussing in our profile topic. Then we will move to the OU. OU stands for? OU stands for? OU stands for? Yes, organizational unit. So OU is used to organize the users, because the users, employees will be working in the company under department. So how do you organize them? By using the OU. So OU, which stands for organizational unit, it is used to organize the users based on department wise. And if administrator is busy with some important work, he can give some simple and routine task to other user. So that is called delegation control. That can be done with the help of OU. Yes. Delegation control means giving some of the administrator privilege, not all, some of the simple and routine tasks to the other user. How to do that? That we will discuss in delegation control. Okay. After the OU, what we are going to discuss? After the OU, what is the next day topic? Active Directory second class. So in the first class of Active Directory, we'll discuss how to configure the domain controller. So after the first class of Active Directory, we'll be discussing what? This client member server permission profile OU. After that, Active Directory second class. So in the first class, you are creating which machine? Domain controller. So how many domain controller you will be creating? How many domain controller you will create? One or two or how many? Only one. You cannot create more than one. So domain controller will be only one. So the most important machine in the domain model is domain controller. And how many machines you can make domain controller? Only one. So if it is get failed, what happens? Your entire network will be down. No user can able to log in. So to prevent this, is there any solution? Is there? Can we prevent this? Yes. For that, what we have to do? Yes, anyone? We have to configure what? Backup of DC. No, we don't have to make root. We have to take one more machine and make the backup of DC, which is called ADC. So in the second session, we will be discussing about, in first session, we'll discuss how to create the DC. In second day session of the Active Directory, or in second session of the Active Directory, I should not say day, I will say second session of Active Directory, we'll be discussing what? How to take the backup of DC or how to make the backup of DC, which is called ADC, additional domain controller. So why we will create the ADC? If the DC get failed, the ADC will provide the same support so that our network will not get disturbed even if the DC get failed. So how much it is important to configure DC? Equally important is to configure what? ADC. So in second session of Active Directory, we'll see how to configure the ADC and what is tree and forest. That also we will discuss. So in the second session of Active Directory, we will discuss how to create the ADC, backup of DC, and how to create a child domain, and how to create a new tree, and what is meant by forest. So these things we'll discuss in Active Directory second class. Then in the third session of Active Directory, we will be discussing the difference between DC and ADC. So is there any differences there between DC and ADC? The answer is yes. And what is the difference? Yes, one of our friend written earlier. What is the difference between DC and ADC? The difference is, yes. No, what is the difference between DC and ADC? I'm not asking how to identify. Okay, I'll tell you how to download the class session. First, you just tell me what I'm asking. So the difference between DC and ADC, earlier somebody has written, now is not writing that same answer. Maybe you are not confident. So that is called roles of Active Directory. So the difference between DC and ADC is roles of Active Directory. Roles of Active Directory, which is called operational master roles. So that we will be discussing in the third session of Active Directory, the difference between DC and ADC. Then we will be discussing the group policy. Then we'll be discussing, yes, ADC is a backup of DC. So what is the use of ADC? When the DC get failed, ADC will provide same services what the DC used to provide. So even after DC is failed, if ADC is working, the users can log in from their respective machine and can work normally as they used to work when the DC is up. So our network will not get disturbed when we maintain the ADC. ADC and cluster are not same, they are different. Clusters means that is load balancing. ADC is a backup. Okay. So next topic is group policy. So every company will have certain policies. See, exact meaning of cluster is nothing but load balancing. So if the load is more on the server, you have to balance it by making multiple servers. So backup is different, multiple servers are different. Okay, Venu. Okay, fine. Now, in the group policies, we are going to discuss about, every company will have some policies. So they want that policies to be applied on their employees. So who can apply this policy? Administrator. Yes, rules, regulation, what they have to follow. So certain departments should access certain things. Certain departments should not access certain things. So this you can do. Who can apply this? Administrator from DC machine. So that we will see in group policy. After that, in the fourth class of Active Directory, we will be discussing. In the fourth class of Active Directory, we'll be discussing what? How to create a trust between different forests. So what is the next topic we are going to discuss? How to create a trust between different forests. Then in the fifth and last class of Active Directory, we will be discussing about the global catalog and site. So once with this over, the Active Directory, all 5 sessions will be over. And the last part will be how to configure the servers. So as an administrator, we should know how to configure the server. Server means which provide services. So these are the basic 8 servers which we are going to discuss and configure in this course, which will be present in every organization. Starting with which server? DHCP. So server means which provides service. So what type of service the DHCP server will provide? Yes, anyone? What type of service the DHCP will provide? Yes, very nice. It will assign the IP address. So if you want to communicate from one machine to another, so many machines will be there in the organization. So if you want one machine should communicate other machine means what should be there on the machine? IP. So who can assign the IP? User can assign the IP? No, only admin. So will you go to each machine and assign the IP? Hundreds of machines will be there in big company. So will you go to each machine and assign the IP? No. So what you have to do? In one of the machine, you have to configure one server. Which server you have to configure? DHCP server. So what the DHCP will do? It will assign the IP. So in the DHCP server, we'll see how to configure the DHCP server, which can assign the IP to all the clients so that they can communicate from each other. So this server will be present in every organization. So we should know how to configure DHCP. And even the backup of DHCP, how to configure, we'll see. For all important server, backup will be maintained. Then after DHCP, we'll be discussing DNS. So what is the service the DNS will provide? What type of service the DNS will provide? Yes, very nice, Taha. It is a yes. Yes, it is a resolution service which convert name into IP, which will be used in accessing the website by name because it is easier to remember the name compared to IP. So we'll be discussing the DNS, how it can resolve the name into IP and IP to name, through which we can access the website by name. So after DNS, we will be discussing as an administrator, we should know how to host the website. So we'll be discussing how we can host the website, which can be accessed by name by using DNS. Then after that, we will be discussing WDS, Windows Deployment Service, through which we can deploy the OS onto multiple systems. Without DVD, we can deploy the OS so that we can install the OS on multiple machines. So that is done through which service? WDS. Then after that, we'll be discussing the Hyper-V. So Hyper-V is the product of the Microsoft, which can be used. See, SOE we are not going to cover. Using the WDS, how we can deploy the OS, that we are going to cover. Okay, how we can deploy the OS through WDS, we are going to discuss. AV. Okay. No, SCCM is also not a part. According to the modules of the MCSE 102 and 108, we are discussing this course, designing. Migration means once you know the roles of Active Directory, you can migrate by using the transfer and seizing. Both the options we are going to discuss. Through that, you can migrate it. Okay. So after that, what we are going to discuss? Yes, after covering the WDS, we are going to discuss what? Hyper-V. Hyper-V is the product through which we can do the virtualization. We can do what? Virtualization. Virtualization means what? Installing on a single physical machine, multiple machine. Like people mostly are using what? VMware. So similar to that, the Microsoft have what? Hyper-V. After that, we are going to discuss about RAS, remote access service, which can be used to configure the VPN server. Then RDS, which is a service through which we can take the remote desktop. So as administrator, how to take the remote desktop, we will be discussing that. Next, we are hosting the website through nowadays through HTTPS. So in the IAS topic, we will be hosting the website through HTTP as well as through HTTPS. Then next we will be discussing what? Storage management. So to manage our data, where the data will be stored? On hard disk. So to manage the hard disk, we need to create on hard disk what? Partition. So how to create the partition, and on that partition, how to implement the RAID, that we will discuss in storage management. And our last topic will be what? How to take the backup of the data using Windows Server backup. So this is the course content of MCSE. Along with that, we will be discussing also how to install the Linux OS, how to create the files there using cat, touch, and vEditor, how to create the user in Linux, how to create a group, how to apply the permission on users and group. Then how to install the application using the RPM and YAM. And IIS is used to host the website through Windows only. But on Linux, we use Apache So how to configure the Apache web server to host the website? Last day I'll show you on Linux. So this is your course content of 1 month duration. Internet Information Service. Okay, so I hope everybody got the idea about what are the course content and what are the topics which we are going to discuss in this course. Is it clear to everyone? Yes, I didn't get any message. Are you clear? Okay, fine. So now, now as far your recording is concerned, online students, you will be getting the benefit of what? Online sessions, everyday recording. So I'll suggest you how to do the practical. We'll be sharing with you. I'll be sharing you through the VMware. I'll show you the practical. Plus, I'll be sharing you my WhatsApp number. When you get any problem, take a screenshot and send to me on my WhatsApp. So I'll be taking the multiple sessions with support. So I may not reply immediately. So as soon as I'm free, I'll reply to you. Today is our first day. So we will not have lab only on first day or the practical. Second day, tomorrow, I'll show you the installation. Okay. So I'll be sharing you one file. I have made one notepad file. In that I written all the steps in the notepad file. Using this, you can do the practical easily, all the headings with all the steps. Okay. And yes, you will be getting the recordings every day. So for that, I'll be sharing you on the chat box one link. So all of you please click on that link and fill up your details. So just a moment. Yes. So I'm putting the link on the chat box. So all of you please just click on that link like I'm showing you. Just click on this link. You registration application form. You have to fill up your details. Starting with your name, your email ID. So every day, once the session is completed,
they will ask the payment number.
if you have that, you can give it. If you don't have, you just leave it. They will come. They will have all the details.
Yes. So that they will comes to know that you paid. And
yes, they will have all the details.
I told you now.
Which,
It's the free class.
Yes.
From next onwards.
So here, first you have to fill up your name, your email ID. So after the session is completed, you will get you will get on your mail ID one link. On that, the recording will be available. So if you play the recording, you will able to see the session, but you will also have the download option. So every day you download the session so that that session recording will be there with you lifelong. So everybody, what you have to do, every day you download the sessions. Without downloading also you can view and see the session, but that link will be gone after few days. So better every day you download the sessions. So once you download, that recording will be there with you forever. So please write it your mail ID carefully, your WhatsApp number. Then here, the counselor names, you can select any one of them who has approached for you this course. If nobody approach, you can click on others. And if anybody's made the payment, I have been told most of the people have made the payment. So you can just tick this box, already paid the payment. If anybody have not made the payment, you can say attending the demo. Then go to the next page. Few more detail is there. Fill up it. I'll wait for a few minutes. Everybody please do it properly.
Yeah.
So once you're done with that, we will start the introduction part, starting with network. So all of you please do it. And once you have done it, please wait so that everybody finish it. So I'll wait for a few minutes. After that, I'll start the session.
Not showing red.
Sir, what is the batch timing? Because today is starting 7 p.m. But in that option there is 8 p.m. So what we choose?
See, generally,
Right.
we had the sessions earlier 8, but now it has been fixed to 7. So you can just select here 8 p.m.
Okay.
But the sessions will be there every day 7
Okay.
p.m. No problem.
Yes, sir. Try to pick, yeah, minimize this VNC from 56.10, try to pick this.
See, if you keep your mic in mute position, it will be better. We'll be doing the practical on VMware 17th version.
What, sir?
VMware 17th version. VMware. I'll be discussing that tomorrow. Yes, and that's what I'm saying you. I'll provide you the.
Not pinging means camera is off.
How do you practice means I'll share you
Maybe it come up. Sometime the camera won't start. I think this is weekend, no? Maybe they restarted Tuesday, maybe they restarted or something. We have to just power off and power on, then it come up. No, generate. Yeah.
Are you talking to others? Or you are suggesting to others?
Yeah, sir. That guy will be there, not just call that.
I
guy.
think he's talking with others, sir.
Can you just keep your mic in mute position?
Yeah, he knows, I think, sir. He knows that one.
Sir, you can make the mute, sir. You are the host, right? You can.
Okay, everybody done? Or shall I wait one more minute? Still anybody is doing? See, once this course is completed, you can write the certification MD 102 and MS 102. MD 102 endpoint administrator and MS 102. See, like a small children, how many times I have to tell, I don't understand. See, for the courses you have on our website, our counselors numbers, you can just ping to just contact them. They will give you all the details. Which courses is starting on, or which batch is starting on when, and what is the time. Okay. And as for the recording, and if you want any further details about the online sessions, You can just note down this number. She will be handling these details. So I'll put it on the chat box. Her name is Vani Madam. You can contact if you are not getting the recordings, or if you want to know any particular courses starting on which particular day. So I'm just putting it on the chat box. You can note down this is her WhatsApp number. Her name is Vani Madam. She will be available in the office from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Indian time. So the exam is MD 102 and MS 102. So these are earlier it was two papers. Now they have made two papers into one. So altogether, if you write two papers, just one MD 102 and one more paper MS 102. So if anybody is interested, Zoom is the official partner. You can come to the Hyderabad, and from Kukatpally you can write the exam. Zoom will provide the support for these two exams. Even Azure and CCNA support also there. So if everybody have done, so if you are willing to write with the support, it is 7,000 only. That currently the scheme is going on from the new year. When they will start, when they will stop, I don't know. But some people have written few days back. So some scheme is going on. So earlier it was for MD 100 and 102. So for each paper, 7,000 was there. But now MD 100 and 101, they have combined to paid one MD 102. And for the cost, they kept only one paper cost. Till how long they will keep, we cannot say, because the currently scheme is going on. As for today, this is the official. About the cyber security, I'm not sure. So you can contact Vani Madam. Otherwise I'll ask her and confirm you tomorrow. Support for the security. For Azure, CCNA and Mcse, it is there. For cyber security, I'll try to know from them and I'll update to you. Okay, so can I proceed with the topic now? Okay. So now we will start with the first. Everybody, troubleshooting, see, nobody will teach you the troubleshooting. By working only, you will understand the troubleshooting. So if anybody is misguiding you that by this course will teach you, see, you have to analyze first. Troubleshooting means when you are good with the subject, theory and practical. So what is the issue? First, you have to understand the issue. Then what might be the various causes and what might be the solution. So by working on these things only, you will able to understand. Ready-made, nobody can teach you. And for the level 1, this course is, so they will train you and you have to work it. So the troubleshooting part comes to the after 3 years. So you should have the genuine experience. Okay. So now let us start with our first topic. So what will be our first topic now? Network. So as administrator, what we have to do? Manage the network. So first we should know what is meant by network. So how do you define a network now? Yes. How do you define a network? According to you, network means what? Yes, you can start writing your answers, whatever you feel, onto your chat box. So we are starting MCSE, first topic, network and networking. So how to define a network? So in simple word, you can say network is an interconnection of devices. So how do you define a network? Network is an interconnection of devices. Yes, you can say a simple way, connecting devices. Yes. Connecting different devices is nothing but network. So now let's suppose here I'm having two systems. Let's suppose here I am having two systems. All of you concentrate here. So suppose I'm having here two systems. System 1, system 2. Two systems are there. Now, can you call these two systems are in the network or not in the network? They are in the network, yes, or they are not in the network? Yes, you are right. They are not in the network because they have been not connected. They have been not connected. So every computer will have what? LAN card. You know LAN card means NIC card or Ethernet card. So every computer will have a LAN card, whether it is a desktop or laptop. So you have to take one cable, Cat5 cable, connect one end of the cable to the one of the LAN card or one of the machine LAN card. The other end of the cable should be connected to the other machine LAN card. Now these two computers are in the network or still they are not in the network? Yes, these two computer, is it in the network or not? They have connected now. So they are in the network or still in the not network? Tell me. Yes, no? No? The answer is yes. So interconnection of devices is called as what? Network. So once you connect the system, connection of system is nothing but your network. Then networking. Networking means what? Networking means what? Enabling. Networking means what? Enabling. Enabling what? Communication between the interconnected devices. So enabling the communication between the interconnected devices for what purpose? Why they should communicate with each other? For sharing the resources. Resources means your data, files and folder, and services. Yes. So networking means what? Enabling the communication between the connected devices for sharing the resources and services. Now I have connected these two systems. Now will it communicate? Now these two systems are in the network. Will it communicate? Okay. So you are writing yes. Everybody think yes? Okay. Anybody think no? Yes. Everybody is writing yes. So everybody think, anybody think no? So we have connected it. So will they communicate? So anybody think no, they will not communicate? Okay, you are saying it will not communicate? Okay. And everybody think yes, communicate? It will not communicate. So majority of the people are saying communicate. So the correct answer is it will not communicate. Why it will not communicate? No. Why they will not communicate? Very nice. I cannot pronounce your name. Maybe for us, it's a difficult name. So if I'm pronouncing your name wrongly, sorry. Yes, you are absolutely right. So here, for communication, you required two types of, okay, Ilaja. Sorry, I cannot pronounce your name. You are from which country? Okay, Nigeria. Okay, nice. Okay, so now So for communication, you are absolutely pinpoint correct. So for communication, here it will not communicate. Why? What is missing here? So please remember, for communication, you required connectivity. What you required? Connectivity. So it is connected or not? Connected, but still it will not communicate. Why? Because you required how many types of connectivity? For communication, you required how many types of connectivity? Two types of connectivity. How many types of connectivity? Two types. What are they? Yes, physical connectivity. Physical connectivity and logical connectivity. Very nice. Physical connectivity and logical connectivity. So physical connectivity is provided by using what? Media. That media can be guided media or unguided media. So the example for guided media is, the cable. So the example for the guided media is cable. And for unguided media, Wi-Fi. So you required both or any one? Cable and Wi-Fi, both are required or any one? Any one. So here we have provided, no, not both, any one only. Hussein, either you have the cable or Wi-Fi. If you have Wi-Fi, no need of cable. If you have cable, no need of Wi-Fi for physical connectivity. So here, physical connectivity is there, but what is not there? What is missing here? Logical connectivity. So this logical connectivity you can provide by using what? Logical connectivity is provided by using what? What is missing here? That is, yes. So the logical connectivity is provided by using what? IP address. So here IP address is there. IP address is there. No. So will it communicate without IP? No. So now if anybody asks you in interview, for communication, how many types of connectivity you require? So what you will tell? Two types. What are they? Now to confuse you, he may ask like this, which one is more important? Now what your answer will be? Physical connectivity is more important or logical? I said, my question, you listen to me. Which connectivity is more important? Physical or logical? So the correct answer is, however clever you might be, you cannot defend physical or logical. So the answer should be both are equally important. So they'll try to test your confidence. So sometime you will tell one answer correctly. They will tell you stressfully, are you confident? Like that. So most of the time, some people will change the answer. So when you are clear with the answer, you should never change. So some of them, you have written both, but when I stress, you changed. So now some was saying physical. So just now we have seen the example. IP is not there means it will not communicate. Now you give the IP address. Now somebody was saying logical is important. Now you give the IP address because without IP it was not communicate. Now you remove the cable. You give the IP, but remove the cable and then check. Don't provide Wi-Fi also. Then check. Will it communicate or not? So when you don't give the IP and put the cable, it is not communicating. Now you connect. You give the IP but remove the cable. Will it communicate? You check. Yes, Venugopal, you can write your question. I'll reply to you. So everybody understood? So which one is more important, physical or logical? Both are. See, without assigning the IP, will it take the IP address? Means for the DHCP server should be there. So that is called APIPA IP. It can take that IP, but it will just take the IP. For communication, it is not valid. So for that DHCP server should be there. It will automatically assign one IP. That is called APIPA IP. But for the DHCP server should be there. Okay. So have you understood? So for communication, which type of connectivity is required? Two types, physical and live. So which one is more important? Both are equally important. If one is missing, you cannot communicate. Is it clear? Will you remember this point? Okay. So now in the company, do you have the two systems to manage? Do you have two systems to manage? No. Compulsory more than two systems. So if it is two system, I can take a cable and connect it. Now I have four systems. Can I take a cable and connect it? Single cable? Can we connect? No. Then what to do? So if it is more than two systems, what we have to do? Yes, Taha, you are right. We have to use what? Network connecting device. So earlier we were using hub, but now nobody is using the hub. So in place of hub, what we are using? Router. What we are using? Router. So if it is more than two systems, we can connect them through switch. Earlier we were using hub, but now we are not using it. Then between these, when the systems are at different places and different network, to the switch, we need to connect one more device. What you will call that? What you will call the device? Router. Router. So router or router, whatever you pronounce it, when it is needed, when your network is in, when the devices are in different network and different places. When they are in same place and same network, do you need the router? Do you need the router? No. Router is required only when devices are at different network and different place. Is it clear? So when it is more than two system, how do you connect it? Through the router, through the hub, or through the switch? Switch. Yes. Okay, are you following? So now we will try to understand why we are not using the hub, why we are using the switch. Okay, so before that, you should be aware about, like some people have written previously one address that is called MAC address. So what is the use of MAC address and what is the use of IP address? We should be clear. So after that, we can go to the switch, hub, and so first of all, NIC full form? Yes. So where it will be present? Where it will be present, NIC? NIC is what actually? Yes, NIC is called Network Interface Card. So where it will be present? In every system. So whenever you purchase any laptop or desktop or any server, you will find what? One card. That card is called with a different name. NIC card is also called as Ethernet card. The other name for it is also LAN card. So when somebody use the terminology LAN card, NIC card, or Ethernet card, it is one and same. Understood? So every system will have one card. On that card, on that card, there will be one address. So that address is called, so on every machine, there will be one card, which is called NIC card. So on that NIC card, you will have one address. What you will call that address? MAC address. So what is the full form of the MAC address? So who will give this address? Who will provide this address? Where do you can see? So in the system, you can open the command prompt and just write get MAC. What you have to write? Open the command prompt. You know command prompt, Windows R, CMD. Then just write get MAC, GET, get MAC. So you'll see the MAC address of the system. Yes. So who will provide this MAC address? Yes, company will provide it. So MAC address will be, yes, manufacturer. Very nice. So MAC address is also called as physical address. MAC address is also called as physical address, or you can also call this as a permanent address because this cannot be changed. Why it is called physical address? Because the MAC address, can we change the MAC address? MAC address cannot be changed. MAC address cannot be changed. That's why it is called physical address or permanent address. So who will give this address? Vendor or manufacturer. Suppose you have purchased HP laptop. So HP company will give what? One NIC card. On NIC card, they will give one address. So that address is called MAC address. It will be in hexadecimal format. It will be hexadecimal format. Hexadecimal means, decimal means 0 to 9. 0, 1, they are called decimal binary number. 0 to 9, they are called decimal number. Hexadecimal means now 10 is represented as what? A. B as B. A means 10, 11, B like that. Up to F. That is 16 digits. That is called hexadecimal. Are you following? So it will be in which format? So here A means what? 10. B means 11. So like this up to 15. 15 means F. So it start from 0. So 0 to 15 means 16 numbers. Those are called hexadecimal numbers. So now, why they will provide this MAC address? Is there any use or no use? So please remember, is there any use of MAC address? What is the use? So MAC address purpose is, which is provided by the vendor. Why they are keeping this? MAC address is used. Very nice, Venugopal. Yes, it is a unique IP SIN, but what is the purpose of that? So MAC address is used to identify the system. So when you are communicating from one system, one computer to another, how the computer, one computer will identify the other computer? When you are communicating from one computer to another computer, how the computers will identify each other? With the help of MAC address. So the identification of the computer is done with the help of, every computer will have same MAC address or different? So MAC address, why we will have the name? For identification. Yes. So MAC address purpose is what? It is used to identify the system. System means computer. So when we are communicating from one computer to another, how they will identify each other? With the help of MAC address. So on the MAC address, what we will provide? On the NIC card, the vendor will give one address, that is called MAC address, which is given by the vendor. On the same NIC card, as the administrator, you have to provide one more address, that is called IP address. So where the IP will be provided on the system? On the NIC card. So on the NIC card, you will have two types of addresses. What are they? MAC address and IP address. MAC address is given by manufacturer, vendor, which is used for identification of system, whereas the IP address is called as logical address. Why it is called logical address? Because this can be, IP address can be changed. MAC address can be changed? No. That's why it is called logical address. And who will assign this MAC logical address? Who will provide this IP address? IP address is assigned by administrator. Yes. So are you following? Are you following? Everyone? Okay. So now what is the use of the IP address? IP address is used for identification is done by MAC address. But what is the use of IP address? IP address is used for communication. Very nice. Sorry, I cannot pronounce your name. So instead of pronouncing your name wrongly, I felt sorry to say. Okay. So you have said some other name, but I forgotten your name. But keep it up like that till the last day, not only on first day. Okay. So IP address is used for. So IP address is used for what? Communication. So identification is done by MAC address. Communication takes place through IP address. IP address is used for communication between the devices. Devices means here systems. So for that condition is there. What is that condition? Provided what should be present? Provided physical connectivity should be present. Without that, it cannot communicate. Provided physical connectivity is present. I hope you are following. Yes. Is it clear? So now we will see the difference between hub, switch, and router. After that, we will stop the session. Okay. So yes, can I go to the next point? That is the difference between hub, switch, and router. So this is something like your hub. Hub and switch will appear similar. They will have the ports. Then router. The router will also have the ports. But they are being used. Their working is different. So now every company connection will be something like this. So all the systems will be connected to the switch. So if you are having the connection to the WAN, means again internet is there, means internet connection will be done to the router, from the router to the this, then your printer or your server. So every connection will be like this. So all the system will be connected to the switch, and if any router you are using router, you can connect to the same switch, your server also. So connectivity is done to the switch. But earlier we were using what? To connect the devices, we were using what? Hub. But now we are not using. Why? Yes, it causes network trafficking. Who? When we connect the system through hub, it causes network trafficking. Why? Because it causes network trafficking. Due to that, it will act like a collision also. So this all results in network getting slow. Why? Why the network gets slow, or why the collision take place when we connect the system to the hub? So the hub main disadvantage, it will do always what? Broadcasting. So what is the main problem in the hub? When we connect the system through hub, it will always does what? Broadcasting. Broadcasting means one to all. It will send. Suppose one user is sending the data to one user. It should send to one user, but it will send to one to all. That is called broadcast. So every time one user is sending the data to one user means it will send to all, which causes network traffic. Due to that, network get slow. So that is the reason now nobody is connecting the devices through hub. So when we connect the devices through the hub, it will does broadcasting, which causes the network to get slow. It makes the network slow. That's why no company is nowadays using the hub to connect the system. Okay, are you following? In place of hub, now we are using what? Switch. So switch is also a network connecting device. It's called network connecting device to connect the systems. Hub, switch, and router. So what is the difference here? It is also used to connect the system, but what is the difference? Switch is called intelligent device because hub does not maintain any table, but switch maintain one table. What is that table? MAC address. So what the switch, when we connect the system through the switch, what it will do? First time it will do flooding. Flooding means it will send the data to all, first time only. It will collect the MAC address. So MAC address will be maintained in the table, that is called MAC address table. So switch will maintain what? MAC address table. So first time it will do flooding. Second time onwards it will do what? Since it knows the MAC addresses are unique. So to which machine it has to go, to that only it will go. So that is what it is called? Unicast. Unicast means 1 to 1. 1 to 1. So which makes your network slow or fast? So that is the difference between the hub and switch. Both purpose is same, but who will work better? Switch, because switch will work with what? MAC address table. It will do unicast. Unicast means 1 to 1. Whereas the hub will do what? Broadcast. So when we connect the system through hub, it will causes the network traffic. And due to that, system get slow. When we connect the same system through the switch will do what? Unicast 1 to 1 using the MAC address table. So it makes the network fast. So which one is better to connect? So that's why everywhere nowadays systems are connected using, but nobody is using hub. Is it clear? But if the systems are in different network, the keyword here is different network. So when the devices are in same network and same place, no need of any router. But if the devices are in different places and different network, compulsory you have to connect one more network connecting device, that is router. So router allow the communication between different network when the devices are different place. When they are in same network, please remember, when the devices are in same network, we don't need any router. Switch is enough. Just we have to connect to the switch. But if devices are in different network, to the switch, you have to connect one more device. What is that? Router. Is it clear? Okay. Done? We will discuss that tomorrow, not today. Yes, if you have internet connection, compulsory you have to use the router. So now there is one small presentation. Still, if you have any doubt, you can see the presentation. You will get very clear idea between between the hub and switch, the difference. Now here the systems are connected through what? Switch. So, the system here is connected to the hub, port system. So now the user sitting on computer 1 sending the data to user sitting on computer 4. So now the system is connected through hub. So what it will do? When the user is sending the data to one of the computer, it will send to where? All. This is the problem. So meanwhile, if second user is sending to third, means it will also send to all. So collision will happen. Network jam will happen. So this causes the network traffic, which results in network jam and which makes the network slow. I hope this presentation is make you all understand what is the difficulty or problem in the hub. Understood? Now same scenario. Now the user 4 is replying. So again, what it will do? Again, it will send to unnecessary to all. So here 4 system is there. In companies, you may have 50 or 100 system. Unnecessary, it will send to all. So now if same scenario, same thing, if it is connected through the switch, same scenario, same computers connected through the switch. Now the user sending the data from computer 1 to computer 4. So first time he's sending. So what it will do? It will send to all to collect what? MAC address. So it will note down the MAC. Every system will have the MAC address. So that MAC address, it will note it down in MAC address table. So now when the user reply, now it will have the MAC address. So what it will do now? What it will do now? Yes, unicast. It will send to that computer only. Where it has to send to the computer 1. So where it will send now? To computer 1 only. This is the difference. Understood? Is it clear? So if the systems are in different network, different places, so to the system, you have to connect one more device. What is that? Without that, you cannot communicate. So if they are in same place, same network, same place, same network, you have to use only switch. But if they are in different places, different network, to the switch, you have to connect one more device. So about the router, you will be learning in CCN. So based on this connected devices are present where the network are categorized into 3 types. LAN, WAN, MAN. So this topic along with operating system, we will discuss in tomorrow session. Okay. Understood today's session? So before I close the session, those who have any questions, any doubt, you can ask me. And those who are understood, you can leave for today. So those who have understood the session, you can leave for today. And those who have any questions, any doubt, you can stay and ask me your questions and doubt. Yes, the connection will be connected through the cable that we will be discussing in topology. Without cable, you cannot connect. Either Wi-Fi should be there or cable should be there.
Yeah, to do practicing part, okay, what is the minimum configuration of the desktop we required for the server class installation for OS Server 2022?
Okay, so you should have minimum processor, minimum to minimum i3, not less than that.
What is the RAM size?
RAM size, if you have 4 GB, it will work slow. But if you have 4 GB RAM, but SSD hard disk, it is fine. If you have normal hard disk, you have to make the RAM minimum 8 GB. Or instead of upgrading your RAM, now people are doing what? Take the SSD hard disk of 100 GB, maybe around 1,000 rupees. You can do nicely.
Okay. Parallelly, when we want to do, because when this training is going on, we want to set up one server to test it from our side. Like, okay, whatever the practical you are teaching us, we want to test it practically. So for that, actually, we want to set up one desktop with the operating system, and in that VMs and everything can be installed, and we can do.
Yes.
Everything.
Yes, minimum you should require one laptop or desktop. On that you have to install the VMs. And that everyday practical you require 2 machines.
Yeah. So the laptop, whatever we are doing, that need to be part of that particular domain?
Not that machines which you are creating, no, everything I'll show you, don't worry.
Okay, so prerequisite is okay, minimum i5,
Yes.
i5 desktop
Yes.
with 500 GB of operating system.
Yes, you can do.
PS and all these things that will be doing,
Yes.
right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay. So anybody have any other question or can I close the session? Yes, can I close the session or any questions, any doubt?
Any WhatsApp group will be created because when we are doing practical,
Yes.
that time we already stuck.
Yes,
So
you have to take the initiative, somebody. Tomorrow I'll tell you. So yes, tomorrow session, same time. The recording notes, the recording session of this, the recorded session of this first day will be sent to you. Maybe tomorrow morning you'll receive it. So you can check your mails. Notes, I'll provide you the slide and I'll share you one notepad file which I've shared, which I've shown you. I'll share it with you so that you can do the practical quite easy.
can you repeat your name once again, please, sir?
My name is Anil Singh.
Anil Singh. Thank you.
So, okay. So that's it for today. Thank you, everyone. Good night. See you tomorrow.
Thank
I'm
you.
closing the session.